Welcome to Shom Machshava on the Daf. She responds to Lunishma Asayim Yakasholom Le'abas Yitzchok. We're holding in Shavuos Daf Tes. The Gemara in Mudala brings the drasha that on Seir of Rosh Chodesh it says Chatos LaHashem. The Gemara says the drasha of Rish Lakish Omar Kadosh Baruch Hu Seir Zeh Kaparah Alai Shemi'adati Seirech. It's a Kaparah for Kadosh Baruch Hu that he diminished the moon. He made the moon smaller. The Rishonim and Achronim are all bothered by what does it mean that Kadosh Baruch Hu says, bring a Kaparah on me? You're bringing a Kaparah for Kadosh Baruch Hu? That doesn't make any sense. So the Rif over here, the Rif that usually is focused only on the Hilchas, only the Halachas. He has Arichus to explain this Agadata. And he says, Havio like Kaparah means not to bring a Kaparah for Kadosh Baruch Hu. Bring a Kaparah in front of a Kadosh Baruch Hu to do a Kaparah on yourselves. That by bringing the Kaparah on yourselves, you will help to make the moon bigger. And similarly brings the Taitzes over here in the name of the Aruch. The Ritva over here, he says, Arbe Perushim Nemru Bor, there's a lot of Perushim in this Gemara. Al Derech Emes Soid Godol Badover. There's a big Soid over here. And so brings the Gilyon on the year in the Gemara. He says it's Zeu Soid Misoid is a Kabbalah. And the Ritva himself says, Al Pip Shat, you could say the Kaparah over here means Loshon Pius. Like the Pasuk that says, Achapra Ponov B'mincha. Which means, I will appease him. So the Kaparah here is to appease the moon. But we'll focus here on two explanations in the Gemara that connect together. First, we'll start with the Maharal. The Maharal speaks in the Gur Aryeh in Bamidbar, and also in Ber Goylo, in Ber Daled, to come and explain this Gemara. So the Maharal's Yisoid is that the Lashon Kaparah, like Yom Kippurim, what does Kaparah mean? Kaparah means not to rectify a sin, not to go and take away the sin that happened. But Kaparah is a Lashon of cleaning, of cleansing, removing a dirt, removing something which is an issue. It's a siluk vekinuach. And that's what happens anytime a person does a chait, anytime a person does an aveiro. The pshat, when he does kippurim, when he does a kapara, you mean you remove the chait. You show it's not part of you. You just go and you take it out from the person. That's called what kapara means, the cleansing of a person. So the kapara that Kadosh Baruch Hu is referring to over here is removing the taina of the yarech. The yarech has a taina, has a complaint that it's small. How do you remove it? You remove it with this seir. And he adds one more nikudo. He says, in general, what is a korban all about? A korban is Lashon kurva. When one brings a korban, he gets close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When the moon is becoming smaller, that means that there is a little bit of a richuk, of a distance between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the world. The Maharal doesn't explain too much yet. We'll get to the Yitzchak HaYitzchara in a moment. It explains a little bit more. But he says the moon represents the world. And if there is mute ayareach, you have the moon who's diminished. So also that means that there's a little bit of a siluk of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the world. So this korban brings the closeness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu back to here. And he adds in Ber Goylo that the diminishing of the Yarech, which is a chisaron, but mitzat sheni, that brings the kurva. Because the Kadosh Baruch Hu is chafetz to be mashresh shchino on the small ones, like we saw by Har Sinai. So the miyut Yarech brings the closest to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that's the tikkun that we have over here. The kapara is removing the anger, the taina, and the way you do it is by getting close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, bring HaKadosh Baruch Hu close in this day. And to explain this a little bit more, let's be ma'ayin what Rav Yitzchak HaYitzchara says over here in Afikiyam. Rav Yitzchak HaYitzchara, as he says, he's basing himself on the Harizal, and he brings some concepts in Kabbalah. But we'll translate it to our language. The Shemesh, the sun, represents the Mashpia in the world. All the Shefa, all the giving in the world. The Yereach, the Levana, the moon, represents the Mekabel, the receiver. Like the moon is the reflection of the sun. The sun represents HaKadosh Baruch Hu giving to the world. The Yerech represents Am Yisrael, who are the receiving and the ones that are working with what's given from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. In this world, the Yerech needs to be small. The receiver needs to be diminished. Why? Because that's the whole idea of the Avodah. The Avodah of the Tachtoinim is that we are imperfect and we have what to complete. We have to come and fill up. We have to come and grow and become bigger. But in the meantime, we're small. When are we going to become big and large and come to the highest level of the Mekablim? That will be La'osid Lovli. Because then it says, this moon will get big like the sun. Am Yisrael, so to speak, will be equal to the Gilu of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the world. There will be the proper Mekablim, that they shine like the sun. Where do we have that promise or that potential to get to that level? We have it every Rosh Chodesh. Because what happens every Rosh Chodesh? The Levana is Bechidusha. There's a rebirth of the Levana. The rebirth of the Levana includes in it the one day the Levana will have the ultimate rebirth. And the Am Yisrael is compared to the Levana, as we say every time in Kiddush Levana, every month, we say Shem Asidim Lischadesh Kamoisa. Am Yisrael will be renewed like the Levana will be renewed. So we mainly connecting the Maharal to the Yitzchak Chaver, we have a beautiful Mahalach. The Seir that comes is a Kaparah. It's coming to appease the fact that the Levana means the Mekablim or diminished in this world. And coming to tell you right now you're diminished because you have work to do, but you will become greater. And we're seeing in Rosh Chodesh, when you have Koyach Chidush in Rosh Chodesh, that is the Karvan Loshakurvo, that we're close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu because we have that potential to get to the ultimate godless that comes, L'Osid Lovai. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying, I made the moon small, I mean I made the Mekablim small, but they are going to eventually come back, and this is what Rosh Chodesh represents. So every Rosh Chodesh we have that closeness of having that potential to go back, Shem Asidim Lischadesh Kamoisa. And ten l'chacham v'yech kamoi to come and understand all the details of this sugya. Anyone who wants to join the Shomach Shaveh email list who wants to go, please email shomachshaveh@gmail.com.